Good morning. It's great to be here and be invited to say a prayer. As always, I've been in Douglas County now this year for 40 years. Most of my time has been pastoring a church south in the county. And I've spent the last 37 years doing chaplaincy in the first responder world in the county. And so I always find it a privilege and an honor to be with all of you because I know each one of you has a part in what's going on in this county and in government and just the future of those people that are behind us. I know that you all have seen you have a little book that I've been told is a gift for you. You get to take that with you, so you're not stealing it, okay, just to let you know, all right? And it's for you. One of the things that I've always done ever since college days, I always go to the back of the book every time I have to read a book to see how it ends. I did that with the book of Revelation when I became a follower of Christ and realized that I better go and read the rest of it because it was really, really scary. I just thought, what is this thing? And so I went to the back of this book also. Dr. Emmons says something like this: inspiration can be a powerful indicator that gratitude has transformed you in a significant way. And, you know, my life has been transformed by God in so many ways, and just the ability to be in this county. And one of the things that I get to do, and the sense of this book is gratefulness, thankfulness, gratitude, and everything else. I'm very grateful that I get to work with the Sheriff's Office of Douglas County. My sheriff, the undersheriff, have always supported being able to bring into our wellness program the spiritual side of our people, and they support that. And I just need you to know that they support that is a part of each one of their employees, whether they are strong in it or not, they still support it as part of our wellness. The other person I get to work with is Dan Bright, who's here, and he's been an inspiration to me always and has transformed my life because we work really, really close together with our wellness program, and it's been an awesome experience. So I just want you to know that you are always being prayed for in this county, and we're just going to just say a prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you and praise you that you're the one who inspires us to be transformed. And Lord, we know that our nation is a great, great nation. You've given to us so many blessings to be able to live in this wonderful country. But we also acknowledge the fact that we need your help. We need your help each and every day to govern the people that, God, you have put before us. And we ask that you would just guide us and help us, Lord, as we navigate through sometimes very difficult times. Bring us together, that we would have a heart of thankfulness and gratefulness, Lord, to you more than anything. So, Lord, we give thanks to you and ask that you just fill these tables with some laughter. Father, just fellowship, and we thank you for this food. We pray in your mighty, mighty name. Amen.
Please welcome to the stage Douglas County Sheriff Deputy Dawn Elzie, who'll perform our national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moments ago, I signed a letter to the President asking him to declare a major disaster area for the state of Colorado. Now is the time to stay at home.
People were just shocked. It was something that none of us had ever imagined.
In an instant, families were huddled together in their homes, not leaving, not traveling, not going places that were important to them.
The places we've been used to gathering were empty. We were in the depths.
When a county stops in a moment, it is a galvanizing moment for everyone, and I will never forget that.
Week after week, I kept thinking, how can this county survive? But I've been here a long time, and I know our citizens.
It amazed me how there was just that determination. Our friends and colleagues in government, our friends and colleagues in the community, that we're all coming together to make Douglas County a better place.
It was an opportunity to link arms as a community into the fire, into the fight, figure this thing out, and work together. Seeing the color come back into the lives of our community meant watching people eat in restaurants again, go back to their malls and buy things, being able to go back to their jobs.
And suddenly there are people.
It was the sound of joy.
We got through a pandemic.
This is just a testament to the citizens of this county. So no matter what happened, no matter what odds they were faced with, they succeeded.
What impressed me so much about the resiliency of the people of Douglas County was how you just rolled with the punch.
Good job. You did it, and I couldn't be more proud and honored because this wouldn't have happened without your resilience, your determination, and your strength.
Everyone, please welcome to the stage your Board of Douglas County Commissioners, Laura Thomas, Abe Layden, and George Teal.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. And thank you to all joining us this morning via live stream. Today is a day for gratitude, to recognize and celebrate you and everyone who worked so hard during the past nearly 2 years to deliver the services that contributed to Douglas County being named the healthiest county in Colorado and the second healthiest county in America.
As you know, healthy communities don't just happen. They're created by individuals and families who call Douglas County home, whose children are educated in safe schools by top-performing educators and protected by law enforcement, supported by state-of-the-art technology.
Healthy communities are supported by businesses whose commerce contributes to a robust local economy. They are energized by a transportation network that keeps everybody moving.
Healthy communities are active and supported by parks, trails, and open space that represents nearly 50% of the county's 843 square miles of land.
Healthy communities are those whose residents are nurtured by a robust healthcare system close to home, whose spirits are strengthened by a large faith-based community, and whose philanthropy and volunteerism in support of the most vulnerable among us help those in need create a path to self-sufficiency.
Healthy communities are also served by those who lead with their hearts, motivated by the desire to serve and devoted to changing the lives of those around them for the better. And today, through the work of everyone in this room, would you say, Abe? A room of all of our best friends.
Our friends and colleagues.
We as a healthy, resilient, and strong as we have ever been.
When thinking about the state of the county, we thought about our investments, along with many of you, in transportation, public safety, health and human services, historic and natural resources, county services, and economic foundations. We recognized how everyone in this room is responsible for achieving such great outcomes.
This includes our business community and faith-based community, our nonprofit organizations, and local public safety professionals, our state and regional economic development, transportation, and natural resources agencies, and our elected and appointed officials at all levels of government.
With that in mind, Commissioners, will all the elected officials in the room please stand to be recognized? So when you ask people what they love about Douglas County, they rave about all our wonderful, safe communities and the homes, the beauty of the views, our schools, and the recreational opportunities. What never makes their list is traffic, an ongoing and common challenge throughout the entire Front Range. That's why millions of dollars are invested in maintaining and improving our transportation network by many in this room. So let's take a look at some significant transportation system improvements achieved with and through all of us and others.
"10 years from now, when they're climbing behind the wheel with a driver's license,
a little bit heavy.
when it takes a lot less effort to see the road ahead, we can't help but wonder, what will the new US 85 look like? A Douglas County transportation project so massive, it's going to take $200 million and a decade to fully complete.
So for years we've known that 85 isn't big enough. It can't handle the traffic. Developing that, expanding that, improving that north to south corridor is absolutely critical. Definitely improves everyone's lives.
The construction underway right now will make our commute easier, faster, and most importantly, safer. A great example is the 2.5-mile stretch that runs from Highlands Ranch Parkway to just north of C-470. We're widening the lanes from 4 to 6 and reimagining 3 intersections with a groundbreaking concept called a partial continuous flow intersection. Left-turning traffic crosses over the oncoming lanes 600 to 1,000 feet before the intersection. The impact? More vehicles make it through the turn light with fewer accidents. And for those who'd rather leave the car at home, we're adding a new bike and pedestrian path along the entire east side.
Douglas County has a plan. We call it the Comprehensive Transportation Master Plan. How we're going to build out our transportation infrastructure, for the next 10 years, and quite frankly, looking down the line for the next 20 years.
The master plan for US 85 also includes major changes for the Mini Gap, another 2.5-mile stretch, this time between Louviers and Sedalia. The lanes will double from 2 to 4. Left-hand turns are being added, and for wildlife, we're building new protective fencing.
So when you talk about a road project this big, you don't go it alone. You need partners.
Douglas County is always side by side with CDOT in the decision making that we're doing and the design process, and the result of that is just a better project for everybody.
They're all in. Douglas County has been a paramount leader in the development of this project. I think from early on they understood the necessity to bring partners in to come up with a collaborative funding solution.
The real tribute goes to the voters. In 2019, there was a ballot proposal called 1A. It did not increase taxes at all, but it raised $220 million more for roads. 1A for Highway 85 was so very important.
Thanks to the people of Douglas County and our partners, the transformation to US 85 will do more than keep us moving. Better roads mean better lives for those navigating 85 today and in the future.
Thanks for making the road safe. Thanks for loading the highway. Thanks for fixing up the roads for me. Here I come.
Well, because of many here today and watching online, it's easier to get around. You recognize the significance of the partnership funding and what can just be achieved, as we just saw. A quick look at transportation spending in Douglas County shows that in previous years, this year, and in the coming year, transportation investment is our largest spending priority and a significantly higher per citizen spending priority than the other 9 of the big 10 counties in Colorado. Here's a quick look at the many other achievements in transportation projects throughout Douglas County.
Let's talk about the I-25 GAP project. The construction began in 2018. It is on budget and on time, scheduled for completion in November of 2022. It's a $419 million project, 18 miles long. It includes new express lanes in each direction, wider shoulders, 5 new bridges, 4 new wildlife crossings, 28 miles of deer fencing, a southbound I-25 climbing lane at Monument Hill, a southbound I-25 chain-up station, and improved technology.
Waterton Road Extension is Phase 1 was completed in August 2020. Construction of a 2.8-mile, 2-lane roadway between Airport Road and Moore Road. It includes 4 bridges designed for elk crossing as the roadway crosses the county's major wildlife corridor between the Pike National Forest and the Highlands Ranch Open Space Conservation Area, also known as OSAC. OSCA. Cost is $14 million. Phase 2 began in September of 2021 to be completed in fall of 2022. Extension of Waterton Road from Rampart Range Road to the Moore Road will complete the connection to US 85. Sterling Ranch Community Authority and Sterling Ranch Development Company are contributing the full anticipated construction costs of $16.1 million, with Douglas County providing construction management for the project.
And I just want to highlight that the most important piece of all of these projects are the partnerships, which you'll see on the screen. But just want to reference the C-470 trail over Yosemite Street, with construction to begin late 2021 and estimated to take 1 year to complete. This includes 2 separate pedestrian bicycle bridges which will carry the C-470 trail over Yosemite Street, and the C-470 westbound on-ramp designed to improve safety, reduce congestion, and create capacity on Yosemite Street, with a total cost of $6 million.
Mary Jason Gray is sitting over here with a lot of the Castle Rock Town Council members, so this will come as no surprise. Crystal Valley Ranch Interchange and I-25 Frontage Road. Castle Rock is currently finalizing environmental clearances, design, and right-of-way acquisition. The cost is $80 million, including county contributions of $5.2 million as of today, and $25 million in the future, as well as a $5 million Infrastructure for Rebuilding America, or INFRA grant.
Let's talk about the County Line Road Widening and Reconstruction Project, which will begin in early 2023. It will widen County Line Road from 2 lanes to 4 lanes, from University to Broadway, to increase capacity and improve operations. Total cost, $21 million.
The Crowfoot Valley Road Widening Project began in 2022. It will widen the road from 2 lanes to 4 lanes in both directions, with turn lanes from Knob Cone Drive to McCanta Boulevard. Cost is $3 million.
Let's talk about the Havana Street Meridian Boulevard intersection. So construction will begin in 2022 with completion in late 2022 or early 2023. It'll realign Havana Street Meridian Boulevard to include additional turn lanes in all directions and replaces the outdated traffic signals. This will increase capacity and improve operations at a total cost of $6.6 million. The Pine Drive and Pine Lane improvements will be starting in summer of 2022. From Lincoln Avenue to north of Pine Lane, the project will expand 4 lanes and install traffic signals at Pine Drive, Ponderosa Drive, and Pine Drive, Pine Lane intersections with a total cost of $15.8 million.
The Bayou Gulch project is a project for 2022. It will grade the full width of future 4 lanes of Bayou Gulch and build 2 lanes from Perdera Parkway to Scott Avenue for a cost of $3.8 million. The Happy Canyon Emergency Egress Access. Construction began in August 2021 to be completed in November of next year. Connects the Happy Canyon subdivision with the Silver Heights subdivision to provide that critical emergency access. Cost of $750,000.
The pavement management program, which sounds boring, but it's really very important. These are information numbers from 2020 and 2021. Douglas County installed 282 lane miles of asphalt overlay, 11.6 miles of concrete pavement, 982 curb ramps, and nearly 30 miles of curb, gutter, and sidewalk, more than $39 million. Recent and upcoming paving projects include Lincoln Avenue from 1st Street to Chambers, Business Center Drive and Poplar Way, Meridian Boulevard, Poston Parkway, and ongoing maintenance in neighborhoods including Highlands Ranch, Stonegate, and the Pinery.
And I would just like to reemphasize that all of this is occurring without raising your taxes and in partnership with each of you, which are critical to our planning into the future. So recent traffic operational improvements include 9 traffic signals installed, signal modifications at 40 intersections to reduce ice and snow buildup, 5 upgraded or new pedestrian crossing beacons, 8 additional count stations, and 6 new portable radar speed feedback signs.
I saw John Dyack from Parker Town Council earlier. John, where are you at? All right, John, this one's for you. Talking about the DRCOG Transportation Improvement Program. Here in Douglas County, John was our leader for the Douglas County sub-regional group. And Douglas County and other government agencies were initially selected to receive a total of $22,855,000 through the 2020 to 2023 DRCOG TIP cycle. Keeping in mind the value of our collective investment in transportation, let's give one another a really big round of applause.
Personal and public safety. When asked what tops the list for achieving a high quality of life in Douglas County, our citizens and business community report that living and working in a safe community is what they value most. In fact, in our 2019 and 2021 citizen surveys, an average of 97.5% affirm that Douglas County is a safe place to live and work. That's why our investment in public safety is also among our highest priorities. And we know that's the goal of every sheriff's deputy, police officer, emergency management professional, firefighter, traffic engineer, building inspector, human services employee, and public health official in Douglas County to keep each and every one of you safe.
Whether it's collaborative solutions for wildfire preparedness, response and recovery exercises, child and adult protection, road, bridge, and building construction, or enhancing security in Douglas County schools, we've all partnered to ensure that millions of dollars are invested to keep our communities safe. At this time, all law enforcement officials, firefighters, active military and military veterans, and all other public safety officials in the room, allow us to thank you for your service and sacrifice with a large round of applause.
On May 28, 2019, less than 2 weeks after the STEM school shooting, our board unanimously stepped forward in an unprecedented decision to set aside $13.3 million and stand with all public and private schools in Douglas County in support of school safety and mental health supports for students.
As you may recall, on January 14th, 2020, following an 8-month public process, we announced the recipients of this funding, including the news that our school district and its more than 60,000 students would benefit from a $6.8 million intergovernmental agreement, or IGA, through which we granted most of our $10 million commitment for district school safety and mental health for students. We asked those impacted by these dollars to share their thoughts, and this is what they said.
In my eyes, and I hope in many eyes, there's really no more important topic than school safety. Children can't learn unless they're safe. Children can't grow to be the perfect adults that we want them to be without being safe. So this is the first and foremost, in my mind, the most important aspect of a school.
A lot changed after the STEM shooting. That is transformational for all of us. That's something that will never go back to the way that we were.
Kendrick, as we know, was the student who was murdered at STEM High School. That day, Kendrick approached the second shooter that entered the room and immediately pinned him against the wall before he lost his life. Yeah. Saving, 28 people in that room.
Hopefully that you can tell by my tears how important this is.
We have always kept our eyes on school safety and mental wellness of our kids. The celebration really is that I feel like our community now really has rallied alongside of us to make sure that happens as well. So whether it's our county commissioners or our community that just recently passed our bond measure, I really believe that everyone now sees that we've got to invest in this notion of what it does mean to keep our kids safe, and also how do we make sure that they're socially and emotionally safe as well.
It makes me proud that rather than just ignore the issue, that we're taking a positive stance on it.
Everybody has backed up thoughts and ideas with support, actions, and money.
The money in particular is going to help us do some things that we have wanted to do that we may have delayed over a period of a year or 3, depending on the project. To have the additional taxpayer funds from the commissioners in particular is going to help us accelerate some of our plans.
We're really blessed to be able to have this money. Being a private school, stuff like this doesn't come our way often. So being able to use it to help with school security and school safety is a top priority for me, and we're very lucky.
Adding SROs to their schools, brilliant. I love that.
This is going to allow officers, I think, to do a better job in the schools, to be able to do a more quality job and spend time with the kids in a specific school.
When they see me, and without saying a word, you can tell in their expression, in their faces, that sense of, I feel fine, I feel good. Thanks for being here, Gabe.
We started with a community response team that mainly served adults, and the community saw what a valuable resource this was. And so why not bring that to all of our community members? And this youth community response team just enhances that, because now we have another group that can come in and collaborate and partner with us and make sure that when we need to hand that student off to the next supports, there's a really great support team in place to take care of them.
my heart continues to go out to the family and friends of Kendrick Castillo, one of the greatest heroes that I think our county has ever encountered. And for the students in our community and for the parents, my hope is that no child ever has to be a hero at that level and sacrifice themselves for their fellow students when all they're trying to do is learn.
With that sacrifice made, I hope that, you know, when we think of change and how things are going to be going forward, that we remember him. We remember his face, that he was the one to make the change.
One of the biggest public safety stories this year was the outcome of the STEM school trial and ultimately justice for Kendrick Castillo. In 2021, the shooter was found guilty on 46 criminal charges, including murder in the first degree, receiving a mandatory sentence of life without parole. The co-conspirator pleaded guilty in 2020 to first-degree murder, along with more than a dozen other charges, and is currently serving a life sentence, plus 38 years. At this time, I would like to recognize our Sheriff's Office for their role, as well as that of our District Attorney's Office. Will representatives of the DA's Office and our Sheriff's Office please stand and be recognized? Here's a look at other personal and public safety initiatives achieved with and through others throughout Douglas County.
Let's talk about the COVID-19 situation, the testing and case investigation. More than $3 million in CARE Act funding was dedicated for community testing and case investigation to assist in the containment of COVID-19 transmission. In September of 2020, there was the launch of 4 large-scale testing sites throughout Douglas County that are active through 2021. More than 110,000 tests have been given to date, with testing at 3 sites that are ongoing.
So vaccinations tend to have a reputation of being kind of a controversial subject in our community. But our Office of Emergency Management coordinated with 20 clinics and provided more than 2,600 COVID-19 vaccine doses for older adults, persons with disabilities, and those without digital access or transportation. And through the partners that you see up here on the screen, you saw up there on the screen, as of yesterday, 79.1% of Douglas County residents have received 1 or more doses of the vaccine.
Let's talk about personal protective equipment. From March to December 2020, approximately $3 million was invested in securing and filling more than 100 requests for personal protective equipment, including N95 and surgical masks, face shields, gowns, and gloves. Distributions of PPE were made to our local hospitals, including Castle Rock Adventist, Parker Adventist, UC Health, and Skyridge, as well as area doctor, dentist, home health care businesses, county departments, senior centers, and more. As you know, public safety is about more than COVID and crisis response. Here are a few more personal and public safety accomplishments. One critical and important priority for this board is addressing wildfires, and we have the perspective of hard, heavy, and fast wildfire aerial support. So annually, since 2013, we have 2 45-plus day exclusive use periods and options for call when needed air support. 2020 incident response included 9 wildfire missions. 2021 operational missions included 4 wildfire launches and 1 search and rescue mission.
Since 2002, Douglas County designated a portion of our payment in lieu of taxes, or PILT money, to provide supplemental funding for Douglas County's 5 rural fire districts. Our fire districts use the funds to update wildland firefighting and personal protection equipment, provide training, purchase new rescue equipment, plan for water storage, and improve their communication mechanisms. The Southern Shooting Partnership was established to address regional demand for safe, courteous, responsible, and legal recreational sports shooting. 7 shooting range designs, locations were submitted to public comment in February 2021. 3 are anticipated for final selection through the public process. The comments have been analyzed, and the United States Forest Service creating alternatives to present for future feedback.
I'm really excited to talk about our new judicial district, JD 23. This bill was introduced and became law during the 2020 legislative session. This creates a brand new Colorado Judicial District number 23 that will encompass Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln counties. The new judicial district will redistribute the judicial workload, create operational efficiencies, and right-size a brand new judicial district. The Sheriff's Office record on solving cold cases. There were 2 cases. In both of those, the Douglas County Sheriff's Department used DNA evidence and genetic genealogy to identify suspects. The first case was the murder of 21-year-old Helene Przinski in 1980. The suspect was arrested in December of 2019 and sentenced to life in prison in July of 2020. The second case was the murder of 51-year-old Roger Dean in 1985. A 64-year-old suspect has been arrested, charges have been filed, and the case is currently under prosecution. And all of this is possible because of all of these partners listed here on the screen.
Congratulations to Parker for being number 1 and Castle Rock for being number 2 in the National Council for Home Safety and Security 2020 Safest Cities Over 30,000. Castle Rock is the safest and Parker is the 3rd safest small city in Colorado, according to Money Geek. Castle Rock was ranked 8th safest city in Colorado, and Parker the 15th safest, according to 2021 SafeWise assessment of the 10 safest cities in Colorado.
To all our local, state, federal, public, nonprofit, and private partners who played a role in these public safety accomplishments, please stand and be recognized. Come on, stand up. Stand up.
Up, up.
There you go.
Well, they're standing up a lot, but it's probably because public safety is so important in Douglas County. So maybe just get rid of that chair, Sheriff. I don't know. Because of you, families and individuals who need help are getting it. Working with our community partners, we all take on the tough issues of poverty and homelessness for our most vulnerable populations. Local nonprofits, the faith-based community, as well as the state and federal government work with us to help create the path to self-sufficiency for individuals and families. One of the most significant accomplishments achieved during the past few years was our seasonal community solution to homelessness. Let's hear the story of the county's Winter Shelter Network.
We typically envision somebody sleeping on the streets or living in a tent or a cardboard box, but that's not what homelessness looks like here in Douglas County. What we have found out, it's really been women that are 40 to 70 years old, and they live in their car, or they might have a friend's house that they can stay at for a few days, but it's not a home and it's not a family.
I never would have dreamed that I would ever be homeless or need to be in a shelter.
We'll start the assembly line. This is the Winter Shelter Network. So we start with getting set up for all of our guests, creating their living quarters for the night, which would consist of their bedding and just a little area for them to have as their own. We'll also start to set up for where they're going to eat dinner, as well as getting ready to prep the meal for them to have once they arrive.
We partner with the entire county. We partner with tons of people, and without them, this would not be possible.
It took some of the pressure off of the county from hotel nights, vouchers, and things that the police department and other people had to offer to house these people, to get them off of the streets during the coldest months of the year, from November through March. We've seen many of our guests struggle with unemployment, or employment, but not a decent employment where they can afford to live in an apartment here in Douglas County or a home. We've seen guests that struggle with mental illness, or they have come out of an active domestic violence situation, and so they're fleeing from that and looking for a place of safety.
I was resigned to the fact I would be living in my car. That really didn't bother me. The only thing that bothered me was trying to find a safe place to stay at night.
I am incredibly proud of the partnerships that we see in Douglas County. It is only through working together that people in our community have the opportunity to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Everybody faces hard times, but we realize that we're only as strong as the most vulnerable among us.
It's an honor to be invited into this chapter in the lives of our guests, to get to know them, to make friends with them, to hear their story, and to have an element of trust that we're going to help them, not only just for today, but towards a more sustainable, safe future.
We're able to give them resources and the confidence to get back on their feet, and they are so appreciative, so grateful for everything that they do get from each and every one of us in here.
It was nice to know I wasn't forgotten. There are times you feel like you are forgotten, but you're really not.
We can't forget them. We can't ignore what's going on, because there's more out there that are going through it that we may not even know. And so we've got to do everything we can to help everybody.
The doors are open.
So in addition to the Winter Shelter Network, this year we created the Douglas County Homeless Initiative, which is a multi-jurisdictional effort to address homelessness in our community.
The Mental Health Initiative, it was formed after a horrible murder-suicide in 2014 that happened when I was the coroner. To address the unmet mental health needs in our community, 40 partners came together. A key program is the community response teams. Currently, there are 4 teams. They connect those with mental health needs directly to services, avoiding the jail and emergency room visits.
What is the cost of your emergency?
I don't know. I fell down. I don't have a very good memory of it.
Are you alone?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I went into the bedroom and I fell on my face and I knocked my 2 front teeth out.
Is there any serious bleeding?
Yeah, lots of blood.
This is the reason that we got into this in the first place.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Yeah, I need help. I fell in my kitchen and my bone popped out of my leg. I'm just drunk. And, you know, I just continue to drink.
We looked at people that were frequently calling 911, either the police or the fire department, and we had people that had called 18, 20 times.
Had you gone to the hospital? So what do you think has stopped you from throwing things today?
So they were just caught in this cycle and not getting their mental health needs met.
I was in the hospital 3 different times, a couple times for at least 30 days each time because I was so injured. It was a nightmare, for sure. I was at risk of losing my apartment and the roof over my head. I was at risk of losing everything.
People fell through the cracks, and so we formed the Mental Health Initiative.
We have over 40 partners, all working together, rowing in the same direction. There's no silos, there's no competition. There's just what can we do to make this better?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Me too.
Hi. I really appreciate you coming by and, you know, checking on me and bringing some, you know, some food and all the things that you've done. You're just a really perfect person for this kind of work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The Mental Health Initiative saves lives. Just taking the time and being able to sit with them, find out what they need, find out how we can help them get that.
I hope that we can help other people, you know.
Absolutely. It's amazing.
I mean, you're not like a cop. You're just like a regular human being, you know.
Most of us are.
Our suicide numbers are down the last 2 years in a row. We are seeing calls to our community response team down 91% for those people who are in our Care Compact program. There are people who are alive today. There are lives that are productive that would not be so without the Douglas County Mental Health Initiative.
I have a new sponsor.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, and she's, we get along really well. We're just like old friends, you know.
Good.
Yeah.
It makes it easier, I bet. I see a whole new person who's proud of herself, as she rightly should be. Wouldn't even recognize her from what she was a year ago.
I'm not alone now. Yeah. It's just a blessing to, you know, not be alone.
Very proud of you.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful to have you in my life.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
When we looked at the statistics for the first 2 years of our community response team, we realized that 1/3 of the calls for help were for youth. Through the county's partnership with the Douglas County School District and the Sheriff's Office, a one-in-a-kind youth community response team was launched in 2019. Let's watch.
Well, the kids are our most valuable part of our population, in my opinion. And what we know is best for kids is to help them early on.
Social media, the iPhone, mental health issues,
texting and posting,
self-esteem,
depression and anxiety,
school shooting, alienation,
suicide rates,
isolated,
cyberbullying.
This is a hard time to be a kid.
When the community response team started in Douglas County for adults, that was such an amazing idea. Looking at the CRT statistics, we saw a little over 1/3 of those calls were for youth. And so we need a specialized team that's trained to work with our youth. And that was part of the inception of the Youth CRT.
So Youth CRT is a collaborative team with a clinician, an officer, and a case manager.
The Youth CRT is an enhancement to what we can do with our students. It's another layer of support that we didn't have before.
The team is able to connect families with resources. There's case managers available, there are therapists, so they're able to connect families in real time with resources. And this is incredibly important because when a family is under duress, sometimes it's all they can do just to survive.
If a kid is struggling with a little thing here, before it builds up big, you can, get that kid support right then and there.
We always want to prevent kids from getting to the place where they feel like they can't be here anymore. We want to create a safer environment for them where they are not having those thoughts to hurt themselves or to hurt anyone else. The more people we have loving on our kids, the better. So it's an extension of what we do. We just have people who care so much in this building and in this community about our students that they are just another opportunity for us to wrap our arms around the kids and families and provide them the help they need and the guidance they need because they just don't always know what to do. It's hard when you're in it.
The Youth CRT has taken over hundreds of calls and come in to support students in need, and it's been amazing.
How many lives have Kaylee and I saved? I don't know, but I'm hoping that the number's pretty high because we've dealt with a lot of kids that have been in a major crisis mode.
So kids are my soft spot. And when I see that we have helped 1,500 kids, that's 1,500 lives that are impacted. Their families are better. They have a better future, and they will be happier.
My feeling is that 10 years from now, this team will be replicated across the country. And it's not going to be because it's a nice thing to have. It's going to be because it's absolutely essential.
I've been a patrol officer for 20 years, and for the first time in law enforcement, I actually feel like I'm making a real difference in a person's life, and we're getting them the resources that's going to change their life down the road.
The success story of our community response teams would not be possible without the dedicated public servants from our Sheriff's Department, our police departments, our fire districts, and the mental health professionals in Douglas County. Would all of you who are assigned to the Douglas County Community Response Teams please stand and allow us to celebrate you? Come on, stand up.
We're so proud of the CRT program, but there are many more successful programs in Douglas County supporting the most vulnerable among us, achieved with and through many in this room, that we would like to recognize today. The Let's Talk Anti-Stigma campaign launched in 2020 and is ongoing. It created public service announcements featuring Let's Talk messaging, one targeting adults and one targeting youth in both English and Spanish.
Before we move along, for about the last 20 minutes, you've seen things that are really the achievements of the vision of my two colleagues, things that happened before I was sworn in January. Before we move on, let's take a second to give a round of applause for the vision of Abe and Laura.
What a professional. And I'll just say that we are all stewards of folks that have come before us. We're standing on the shoulders of giants, and we're incredibly honored to have a commissioner like George Teal stepping into this role and also being a friend and colleague.
Well, thank you, Ed. Well, the reality is they had an advantage in getting me because 30 years ago, much like Mayor Levy of Larkspur, who's here somewhere, the United States Army got me first. And if you're a veteran of the military like I am, you're going to be pleased to hear that there are 3 veteran service officers that deliver more than 50 meetings per month for veterans, their families, as well as the families of fallen veterans. In 2020, nearly $164 million in VA compensation, pension, education, and medical care was provided by the VA to Douglas County veterans.
An important component of all of this are mandatory reporters. There are 39 different types of mandatory reporters. They are required to report child abuse or neglect or circumstances or conditions that would reasonably result in abuse or neglect.
You know, all of us in this room have been affected by mental health issues and those that have chosen to take their own lives. I mean, we've seen suicide pervade throughout not just our county, but through our state and nation. And we're really thankful for the mental health resources that are available to so many, long 10-digit numbers often that many of us probably don't have a real easy recollection of. But we're thankful to be advocates for a 3-digit mental health line in 988, which will be a top-of-line crisis and suicide prevention hotline. And being a leading advocate in the state and nation for implementation of that prevention and mental health hotline has been critical for us. So in July of 2020, the FCC adopted rules designating this national 3-digit number for Americans in crisis to connect them with suicide prevention and mental health crisis counselors. The expected go-live date is July 16th of 2022.
An important component of our county is the Aging Resources of Douglas County team. This team connects older adults to vital services, information, and resources that promote aging with independence and dignity. In 2020, volunteers donated more than 5,700 hours to provide transportation, companionship, and at-home help to older adults. In 2021, Aging Resources of Douglas County received the certification as an age-friendly employer, the 5th employer in the state to receive this recognition. The Douglas County Partnership was formed in 2003 as a cooperative effort among businesses and local governments to address the lack of affordable housing in the county. It provides foreclosure mediation services as well as homebuyer education and down payment assistance to first-time home buyers. More than $6.5 million in down payment assistance has been provided since 2005.
And let's talk about the Douglas County Youth Initiative, which it began in 2005, coordinating local youth-serving efforts, assessing the needs of and engaging our youngest residents by envisioning a community in which youth are involved, valued, productive, protected, and healthy. Additionally, our faith-based partnerships, such as Manna Connect, which is a personal development program that integrates community, coaching, and career, allowing participants to identify and overcome barriers to self-sufficiency and wholeness. 45 have graduated. Currently, 22 are in the program, and 9 will graduate in November. Graduates have increased their annual income an average of 299%. An additional faith-based partnership is La Liga, which began in May of 2018. Youth and their families build community and connections through a free soccer league for students in grades 6 through 12. It provides youth an opportunity to play soccer with English and Spanish-speaking coaches and refs. There are 100+ players participating in summer of 2021, and in October of 2021, La Liga offered the program to students in grades 3 through 5.
As many of you know, we've had a very busy 3 months as we work to stand up the Douglas County Public Health Department. Today, we are proud to say that we are now one of 50 Colorado counties with a single agency public health department. To ensure the continuity of public health services now through December of 2022, on December 28, 2021, the Board of Douglas County Commissioners approved an intergovernmental agreement with the Tri-County Health Department to continue to provide public health services through the end of 2022.
While the formation of our new department was underway, we had already begun a stakeholder process, as required by state law, for a community health assessment, what I like to call the CHA, and the results which will be used to create a Douglas County Public Health Improvement Plan, which will inform the department's program planning and budgeting of resources in 2023.
Our goal is that Douglas County will have an effective and efficient public health department delivering public health services that represent the true public health needs of Douglas County. Please join me as we recognize all local, state, federal, public, nonprofit, faith-based, and private partners who played a role in these health and human services accomplishments. Because of everyone in this room, our land, air, water, and wildlife are protected. I think everyone here can agree that protecting our natural resources protects our quality of life and all that makes Douglas County a healthy, wonderful place to live, work, and play. Our 2021 partnership achievements in support of our historic and natural resources goal are specifically focused on additional investments in our water and wastewater infrastructure, protecting our wildlife by protecting their habitat, investing in additional recreational amenities, and making it even easier to enjoy hundreds of miles of trails to hike, bike, or explore. For a Douglas County example of natural resources investment, let's watch.
Morning. Good morning. This is a dream 35 years in the making.
This is quite a coup to have this trail. That's a good guy.
I really didn't think it had happened during my lifetime. It's kind of unbelievable.
And everybody look closer. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful and momentous day. Today we are all here to celebrate the completion of the 28-mile East-West Regional Trail.
What we celebrate today would not have been possible if not for the work and dedication of many.
That's absolutely true. There's no one entity that can really pull all of this off. Everything from the government regulation to making sure that the land is available and accessible to people.
So why does Douglas County invest in parks, trails, and open space?
This is the West. The dream is really pretty simple.
We know that when we do, we're also protecting wildlife habitat, our history and heritage, and ultimately we are enhancing the quality of life for those who choose to live here.
What we really appreciate about living in Douglas County is that we continue to see this type of commitment to open space, and it gives us the platform to raise a family in a really healthy and fun environment. No matter what she says.
Now that it's here, come out and enjoy it, experience it. It's right outside your back door.
Get out and see why you're in Douglas County.
Congratulations. Congratulations to us all.
And there's even more to celebrate. Here's a quick look at other historic and natural resources achievements throughout Douglas County.
The amazing Sandstone Ranch, which Commissioners Weaver, Partridge, and I acquired in 2017. The trails were open to the public in September of 2020. The cost to open the trails was $674,000. Volunteers contributed hours valued at approximately $36,000. There are now 12 miles of trails open to hikers, cyclists, and equestrians.
On September 2020, 1,500-acre historic ranch of Ditmars Ranch is now protected with a conservation easement held by the Douglas County Land Conservancy. Purchase jointly funded with $1 million from the Conservation Fund and $1 million from Douglas County.
And our trail rating system launched in August 2021 to help open space visitors choose a trail that is comfortable and matches their skill level.
The Highlands Heritage Stage was completed in October of 2020. It cost $2.2 million to replace the existing concrete stage and make upgrades to the electrical system and stadium seating for the synthetic turf field and a stage cover.
Healthy communities are active and outdoors. Our open space program is on track to be supported by more than 10,000 volunteer hours in 2021 with a value of at least $280,000. We have 83 parks, more than 376 miles of trails, not including the trails in state parks or the National Forest within Douglas County. Nearly 50% of Douglas County is parks, trails, open space, and other protected lands. 50%.
Our historic period here in Douglas County is relatively brief, but it's also very fragile. When we talk about historic site conservation, one of our important projects is the Greenland Post Office restoration. Running from June 2021 through 2022, Colorado State Historical Fund gave us a grant for $156,000 to reconstruct, stabilize, and protect this important historic building from future settlement and deterioration. We'll talk about another side of the Rock Ridge Cemetery restoration. This happened in summer of 2021. 1-acre historic cemetery located on top of a hill in Cherry Valley with known burials from 1870 to 1953. It was restored for a value of $45,000, excuse me. The rock shelter was found on Douglas County property about 5 years ago, and a test excavation was completed in 2020. The site was likely used by Native Americans approximately 700 to 900 years ago. It received landmark designation in October 12th of 2021. State Historic Fund issued a grant of funds for the majority of the $118,000 project.
Let's talk about the Douglas County Fair and Rodeo. Did anybody go to the rodeo this year? All right, so nearly 60 partners, including Future Farmers of America, the Fair Board, 4-H Fair Foundation, and the 4-H Foundation, CSU Extension, and many local organizations and businesses. In 2021, a record $605,000 was raised at the Junior Livestock Sale, and a record $207,000 in sponsorships were achieved. While the 2020 fair was impacted by COVID-19 restrictions, our community was still able to support local 4-H and Future Farmers of America youth and their achievements at the Junior Livestock Sale. To all of our local, state, federal, public, nonprofit, and private partners who played a role in all of these natural resources accomplishments, please stand and be recognized.
Well, from our assessor's office to zoning enforcement, from elections to electronic recycling, from the motor vehicle department to our sheriff's office, the delivery of efficient, convenient, and high-quality services is a core priority for Douglas County. Looking back and looking forward, we recognize the biggest part of our collective success was the story of how we improved services through the leveraging of technology. Watch this.
Time. It's that thing you never have enough of. And when you finally do get a moment, the dream is not spending it here.
Hi, how can I help you?
I'm here to transfer the title on my car.
We get it, but get this. At Douglas County Motor Vehicle, we've got 3 easy ways to shorten or even skip the trip.
What are you doing? I'm renewing our plates online.
We offer more than a dozen online services. Everything from change of address to first-time registration and duplicate titles.
Plate number. There it is.
Go to douglasdrives.com to find out what services are available, what forms you need, and we'll even walk you through the process. Step by step.
They really make it easy for you. Yes, they do.
Getting groceries?
Let's go to this one down here.
Spend an extra 2 minutes and get your plates renewed too by using Colorado MV Express at King Soopers.
I'm gonna let you press the buttons.
All you need is your renewal card or plate number, and make sure your emissions and insurance are current too.
Okay, green button.
Got it.
Okay, grab those tags. Definitely don't want to forget that.
If you do have to visit the DMV office, make an appointment first at douglasdrives.com. Pick one of our 3 locations, a date and time, and you're ready to go. You can even print the forms you need and fill them out beforehand.
All right, Daniel, I've got your plates here for you, and then your registration.
Shortest DMV visit ever.
Awesome. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
At Douglas County Motor Vehicle, we know you've got better things to do.
You want to put it on?
Yeah. Woo!
Okay, awesome. Let's go do something fun.
Okay.
I don't ever remember cheering when I put the stickers on my car. We have a few more county services that deserve recognition. With recording, we have an online chat, live customer support that was added to the website. A new appointment scheduling button on the website allows customers to schedule, change, or cancel their appointments 24/7.
Our excellent clerk and recorder, Merlin Klotz, does a great job with elections. Ballot drop box locations were added in 2019 and 2020 for a total of 20 today. More than 90% of voters deliver their ballots using ballot drop boxes. The 2020 general election saw a voter turnout of 90.91%, the highest in the state. Motor vehicle registration renewal card was redesigned in 2021 for a rollout in early 2022. The new card design is larger and directs citizens to skip the trip and consider other convenient options to complete their vehicle registration renewal online or at a kiosk or by mail.
Our coroner, Jill Roman, earned accreditation from the International Association of Coroners and Medical Examiners, one of only 32 in America to be distinguished with accreditation.
Man, we've got some great elected officials. In addition to our coroner, the assessor, the Colorado Assessors Association named Lisa Frizzell the 2020 Colorado Assessor of the Year for her proactive efforts to determine the impacts of the pandemic on the commercial real estate market in Colorado.
Mill levy certification automation started up in 2019. This automated process allows local taxing districts to submit their tax levy information from a secure online interface and provides each district with the ability to instantly check, validate, and certify their submissions.
Dave Gill, our treasurer. Let's talk about property tax transparency. Your DougCoTaxes.com provides a map-based view of individual properties paired with detailed information on how much of your property taxes each taxing authority receives.
Thank you, Dave, for that. And our Sheriff's Office, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office Wellness and Peer Support Program began in 2019. The focus of this program is on caring for the caretakers and those who care for our community. It supports the physical, mental, social, and spiritual wellness of first responders, employees, and their families. With thanks to Chaplain Tim Ralph, Deputy Lauren Childress, Detective Dan Bright, with assistance from Fergus, the therapy dog, who is here. He's actually right over there. We also wanted to ensure that we were enhancing citizen engagement. So in February of 2020, we began live streaming and remote participation in business meetings and public hearings. This new expanded emphasis on transparency increased the opportunity for citizen engagement, especially when in-person participation was not possible due to COVID-19 precautions. We also hosted more than 26 live town hall community conversations. At this point, we are now doing monthly video newsletters and increasing digital media presence, reaching our citizens where they already are.
Economic foundations. It is no coincidence that the final of our 6 board priorities recognizes economic foundations, because everything we've celebrated thus far is foundational to a healthy, strong, resilient, and a viable economy. And with progress towards this goal comes the most important result to everyone we all serve, a fertile business environment. As you all know, when a business lands in this area, it's like a pebble in a pond. The ripple effect does not start and stop at jurisdictional boundaries. It benefits us all.
We always like to say that Douglas County is open for business, and we're all committed to wise and responsible investments in the foundational elements for a strong economy and sustaining an environment where business can prosper. Because when barriers are eliminated, things tend to get done and people succeed. Let's look at what our business community, as well as our municipal and nonprofit partners, have to say about what we've collectively achieved. Let's watch.
From the very start, we knew it was going to be a monumental climb, an economic challenge like no other.
A county recovers by not running in fear, but running into the challenge.
We were doing things we'd never done before.
Everyone had the same goal of finding a path through this pandemic to the light at the end of the tunnel.
But where to start? Those first steps will have to reinvent the way we communicate and connect. The people of Douglas County need a trusted source.
The buildings might have been closed, but Douglas County was open for business.
Continue showing evidence of your abundant positive attitudes.
The county immediately took the lead to leverage technology. This is new. This is a new solution that we're trying to come up with.
Next step, focus on saving not only lives, but livelihoods. Less than a month after COVID shut down the state, the county gives local food banks more than $50,000.
It's like taking a deep breath when there's no air. Quite frankly, that's how much of a relief it was. We were serving over 4,000 people at the height on a weekly basis, not a monthly basis. To see these funds available and then to receive them, literally, we would be up in the offices cheering when we had a check that came in or knew something was coming.
In the days, weeks, and months that follow, the critical steps toward recovery don't just begin, they hit their stride. Small businesses like the Blue Note Bar and Grill receive federal, state, and local grant monies totaling more than $20 million.
I felt like Douglas County was standing shoulder to shoulder with me and was saying, here, we're going to help you. We're going to take your hand and try to get you through this. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. I think it's what helped me to go, yeah, damn it. We're going to make this. We're going to get through this.
There's hope now on the climb, but the biggest steps are still ahead.
The idea of the Park Meadows Retail Resort shutting down, empty parking lots, dimmed lights, frankly, it was hard to contemplate. It felt like a ghost town.
48 hours before Memorial Day weekend, Douglas County becomes one of the first in the metro area to reopen on a limited basis restaurants, gyms, churches, and Park Meadows Mall.
Douglas County worked with us very specifically and directly with their particular staff to write the variants. We were trailblazers. It was the tool. It was what every shopping center in the entire state of Colorado utilized to open after us.
And then, 2 days before Christmas, the ultimate gift. Douglas County leads the way as the first to locally launch the state's 5-star program.
The 5-star program, in our minds, was the avenue through which our business community could reinvigorate itself.
I was over the moon, our city council was over the moon, that we were going to come through this pandemic, that we were going to return to some sense of normalcy.
Somebody at Douglas County went, this is a business worth saving.
The partnership was phenomenal, is phenomenal, continues to be phenomenal.
This is what healthy counties do when you're faced with a crisis.
2021 has been the year of the recovery, has been the year of that bounce back. We've been through a tough time. We did it together. Congratulations. Now get back to work.
Because of everyone here, Douglas County's local economy is one of the strongest in the United States. Yes, especially during the past nearly 2 years, many partnerships fortified the foundation for our collective economic success and continued economic health.
The COVID-19 response economic recovery. There was a framework for reopening the county. In April of 2020, a powerful county-wide commitment to a framework for reopening the county's economy. Community leaders committed to a 5-point, 3-phase plan to safely resume public life and reopen non-essential businesses. There was CARES Act funding through an IGA. More than $30 million in CARES Act funding was awarded to the county, and it was distributed to municipalities in the county through an IGA. The CARES Act funding was distributed through the CARES Act grant. More than 70% was distributed for economic recovery, including nearly $18 million to restaurants and event centers, $1.5 million to small businesses, and $1.2 million to nonprofits.
The COVID Best Practices Business Certification Program. On December 23, 2020, Douglas County was the first in Metro Denver approved for the state's 5-star program. More than 300 Douglas County businesses participating and implemented increased COVID-19 safety measures to achieve increased capacity. Whether it was variances, the 5-star program, small business and nonprofit grants, blood drives, vaccination pop-ups, devolving the dial, declaring your freedom to choose, or standing up your own health department, our focus has been to save both lives and livelihoods.
And it seems to have worked because people are voting with their feet. Existing home sales in Douglas County increased 4.7% between Q1 2020 and Q1 2021, an increase of 155 homes. During that same period, residential building permits in Douglas County increased 173.1%, rising by 1,106 units permitted. Douglas County gained 3,733 new housing units during 2020, which was a 2.8% increase in the housing stock.
In the terms of job creation, business activity is healthy in Douglas County, with an additional 740 businesses added in between the first quarters of 2020 and 2021, or a 5.6% increase in growth. Employment in Douglas County increased 0.2%, between the first quarters of 2020 and 2021, rising by 199 jobs over the year. While 17,000 jobs were lost in Douglas County from January to April of 2020, Douglas County has recovered all the jobs lost as of the end of the first quarter of 2021. While the unemployment rate in Douglas County peaked at 10% in April of 2020 during the pandemic, it has declined to 4.2% as of August 2021. This is the lowest rate recovered since April of 2020 and the lowest rate among the 7 counties in the Denver metro area. 9 national corporations have moved into Douglas County or expanded their operations here during 2019 to 2021.
As we look ahead to 2022, we have directed county staff to enact a temporary property tax credit on all taxable property within Douglas County for the 2021 tax year to be collected in 2022. The impact is a historic reduction of $10 million countywide.
We also begin the year knowing that our only debt is $3 million, solely dedicated to open space secured by voter-approved sales and use tax. Our final debt payment on the open space bonds will be made in 2022, at which time the county will become debt-free. As for another outcome of our collective success, our communities continue to gain national and state recognition. So going through these, let's talk about Castle Pines. It's number 4 on Niche.com's 2021 Best Places to Raise a Family in Colorado. Castle Rock was recognized by Money Magazine on its Best Places to Live in America list numerous times during the past decade. But in 2021, Castle Rock ranked number 28.
Douglas County, the healthiest community in Colorado and the second healthiest in the United States, according to the 2020 and 2021 Healthiest Communities ratings by U.S. News and World Report and the Aetna Foundation. Named the healthiest county in Colorado by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation 6 years in a row, and one of the top 2 healthiest Colorado counties since 2011. Highlands Ranch is number 6 on Niche.com's 2021 Best Places to Raise a Family in Colorado.
Larkspur? Where's Mayor Levy? Where's he at? He was in here. Turns out Larkspur ranked number 3 on Zillow's list of the top 10 Metro Denver housing markets in 2021.
And let's talk about the powerhouse that is Lone Tree, number 7 on HomeSnack's 10 Best Places to Live in Colorado for 2021. Parker, number 2 on Money Magazine's 2020 Best Places to Live in America. We also extend a special recognition to our library district for contributing so much to the health and vitality of Douglas County communities. And I know you will all want me to express a special collective thanks to all of the many businesses that have recently brought thousands of jobs into our community, and to our local, state, federal, public, nonprofit, and private partners, including our important chambers and economic development councils, who play a critical role in what has been achieved to shore up County's reputation as an economic powerhouse. Please give yourselves a big round of applause.
As we conclude this morning of gratitude, celebration, and recognition, the state of the county would be incomplete without noting our forthcoming opportunity to distribute $68 million in American Recovery Plan Act, or ARPA, funds as legacy investments in Douglas County.
Legacy investments under consideration are those in support of mental health, water and wastewater, broadband, workforce, and further support of our economic recovery.
We also look for opportunities to leverage our ARPA funds with the state and other partners as we evaluate projects that have been presented to date and additional proposals we expect to know more about in the coming months.
We would like to acknowledge and celebrate the hard-working families throughout Douglas County who count on us to invest their tax dollars in ways that protect and serve them every day.
As we wrap up, let's first give Wendy Holmes and her team a thank you for this excellent production this morning. And as we wrap up, because the more than 370,000 residents of Douglas County could not be here today to express thanks to you personally, we ask them to help us create a thank you note for all of you. Let's watch.
We'd like to thank Douglas County for
supporting the B&B Cafe during the COVID.
Thank you, Douglas County, for the construction opportunities.
Thanks, Douglas County, for keeping my brother's shop open.
We appreciate all of the orders to go that we had and the deliveries and all this stuff when we were closed down.
Thank you, Douglas County, for supporting the food banks. Specifically, I volunteer at Secor, and I think we saw an increase of 400% of need, and Douglas County was able to give them a grant to keep the food on the shelves for all these people. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Douglas County, just for
the teachers for everything they've done for our children, their students, and especially the principals who have done a lot of work this last year in trying to keep our students safe.
Thank you, Douglas County, for a great place to raise my family.
And just being an overall positive place to live.
And we really appreciate all of our first responders who have helped us through these trying times during the pandemic.
Thank you, Douglas County, for the beautiful parks.
Thank you, Douglas County, for all the open spaces and beautiful nature.
We're very grateful to have a place that's open and free and beautiful.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. We're doing good.
The state of the county is healthy and strong.
The state of the county is grateful and resilient.
The state of the county is leading Colorado into the future. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning, and God bless you.
And it's okay if you had to go away. Oh, just remember the telephones were they working in both ways. But if I never